And I think if Somali goes back to IRL streaming right away, even if that happened, there will be consequences. Because I mean, if he gets out of prison in 4 years and wants to stream, sure, but not on a lot of platforms. He's going to be a convicted criminal. He'll be sentenced. And then while he's, in jail, he'll be hit with this new one. So when he comes up to testify, he'll be dragged.
Say I'm able to leave Korea with a fine or just a deportation, which is a win in my perspective.
Johnny Somali is in even deeper trouble, and things are getting worse by the day. Not only is he facing additional years in prison, but a brand new charge has surfaced that could completely ruin his future. On top of that, his ability to ever do IRL streaming in South Korea again is officially over. Yes, you heard that right. The South Korean court isn't just punishing him, they're making him an example, a lesson for anyone who thinks they can disrespect the law and get away with it. So, how exactly is Johnny Somali's streaming career finished? Why is he permanently banned from South Korea? And what is this shocking new charge that could keep him behind bars even longer? Let's break it all down. Reports are now confirming that Johnny Somali's upcoming sentencing will not be the end of his punishment. Even if he serves the minimum jail time, prosecutors are investigating new charges that could lead to a second trial. That means even while he's already behind bars, the court has the power to add more years onto his sentence. In other words, Johnny Somali's nightmare is far from over. Legal experts have already weighed in. The channel Legal Mindset explained the situation clearly.
Bronwyn says, what are the odds he gets out and goes right back to IRL news streaming? Is almost zero. I mean, I would say at this point, Bronwyn, that's almost a zero. I mean, it's not zero because, of course, the judge can do anything. The judge could let him go and deport him immediately, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I think if Somali goes back to IRL streaming right away, even if that happened, there will be consequences because there are people out there. And look, this is not me making a threat. I'm just stating a fact. There are people out there that would be waiting. And I think it might even be safer for him if he has time behind bars. Because if he does not go to jail, there are people out there that are going to feel like he needs to get justice. And there are people out there that are going to go seek that justice against him. And it's not going to be good. And so I think for his own sake, even going to a little bit of jail is the positive option.
And it's not hard to see why. The people of South Korea are furious. Johnny Somali harassed women, children, and even elderly citizens, all for clout.
Harassing women and children and elderly people because for its clout.
Have you heard of anybody that forgives him here, that really forgives him here in Korea?
Imagine if he tried to start IRL streaming again in Seoul tomorrow. He wouldn't just face online backlash. People might physically stop him in real life. That's how hated he has become in Korea. But there's also the possibility of deportation.
Anything. The judge could let him go and deport him immediately.
Let's take this a step further. Say Johnny Somali does his time and walks free in a few years. Could he actually make a comeback on streaming platforms?
I mean, if he gets out of prison in 4 years and wants to stream, sure, but not on a lot of platforms. He's going to be a convicted criminal. A lot of platforms won't have him back on. So maybe on a small platform, a know-nothing platform, like he was streaming on Party, which, nobody knows about that platform. Sure, whatever. But hopefully he reforms. I don't know that, you can never predict whether someone will change their ways or not.
Technically, yes, but realistically, it's almost impossible. Once you're a convicted criminal, most major platforms won't take the risk of hosting you. Twitch, YouTube, Kick, none of them want the PR disaster that comes with giving someone like Johnny Somali a platform. Sure, maybe he could stream on some small unknown site that nobody watches, but that's a huge step down from the attention he used to get. Even then, he would probably be banned sooner or later. His reputation is toxic, and every move he makes now will be under a microscope. And let's not forget, Johnny himself once admitted that Kick, the platform he used to stream on, isn't even profitable without gambling sponsorships. He claimed that all their money comes from Stake.com, the gambling giant behind it. So even if Kick wanted to give him another chance, would it really be worth the headache? Highly doubtful. Now, here's where things get even more unbelievable. Johnny Somali has tried to paint himself as a victim. He said that other IRL streamers like Ice Poseidon did similar nuisance content and gained millions of views, while he's the one who got targeted. But let's be real, nobody respects those creators either. Being hated doesn't make you a victim, it just makes you part of the problem. The truth is simple, nuisance content is dying out, and society is rejecting streamers who cross the line just for views. But while Johnny complains about being unfairly treated, the South Korean legal system is moving forward with a very real and very serious new charge, a potential violation of the Child Welfare Act. According to legal analysts, prosecutors are investigating this case right now. If they decide to indict him, it would trigger an entirely separate trial. That means even if he finishes his current sentence, he won't be walking free anytime soon. He'd be dragged back into court, potentially facing years more behind bars. Think about that for a second. Johnny Somali thought he could outsmart the law, but now he's facing not one, but possibly two major trials.
Child Welfare Act. Here's the good news. The good news is it's still going on. There's an ongoing investigation for the Child Welfare Act. That's still happening. So this is still a very, very, very real charge. It's something that's coming. It's something that's going to go on. So understand that. However, we have new information. In this case, we have an indication, and I'm not going to say exactly how, but that it will be a separate trial for Ramsey's CWA if the prosecutors decide to indict him. Now, we don't know yet whether he will be indicted. He has not been indicted yet, which means the prosecutors have not officially charged him yet. They're still investigating. But if that happens, it's going to be a separate trial, which means he would be stuck in Korea even longer. Probably what will happen is he'll be sentenced, and then while he's, in jail, he'll be hit with this new one. So when he comes up to testify, he'll be dragged out.
This isn't about freedom of speech anymore, as he likes to claim. This is about real crimes with real consequences. And yet, Johnny still insists that South Korea is restricting him unfairly. He's been heard saying that the country is violating his rights as an American citizen, punishing him just for speaking freely on live streams. But when your free speech involves harassing innocent people on camera for donations, that's not speech, that's abuse. And the courts aren't buying his excuses. Here's the reality. Johnny Somali could be looking at 7 more years in prison if these new charges stick. 7 more years in a country where he's already despised, with no chance of rebuilding his streaming career. For someone who built his entire life around chasing clout online, that's the ultimate downfall. What makes it worse is his attitude. Instead of showing humility or shame, Johnny still talks about winning if he gets deported with just a fine. In his mind, escaping South Korea without serving full time would be a big victory. But does anyone really believe that the courts, or the people, are going to let that happen? Not a chance. So, here's the big question. Is Johnny Somali now completely stuck in South Korea? Will he spend the next several years battling one trial after another, only to walk out with nothing left? Or will some platform, desperate for views, actually take the risk of giving him another chance when he gets out? At this point, it seems clear. His reputation is destroyed. His career is over. And instead of being remembered as a trailblazer in IRL streaming, Johnny Somali will be remembered as the cautionary tale. The streamer who went too far, disrespected too many people, and paid the price. What do you think? Should Johnny Somali be deported and banned from ever streaming again? Or does he deserve to sit in prison and face the full weight of the law? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.